quicker decisions, like to just ditch a play instead of trying to extend every play. When he's young, he can extend every play. When the legs go, and they will go, he's going to have to learn where he goes with the football to just call off the jam.
Yeah, and so
I'll buy that, but that day's not now. So why are you practicing that now?
Agreed, and also there was a certain amount of magic last year. Not that he can't replicate it some of the time, but how many times last year was he really real close to a 30-yard loss on some wacky
Not
scramble
as many
thing?
as you like to make it sound.
About probably.
You're a Mahomes hater. We all know it.
It's impossible to be a Mahomes hater. Impossible. So, anyway, and
he was not close to a 30-yard loss.
Oh,
there were no Fran Tarkington running
there
back
were a
and
couple.
forth. No.
There were a couple.
No.
There was a spin go the other way back.
Not 30 yard. How many times? Well, you tell me. What are you referring to? I would bet you that there was maybe twice all year that he retreated more than 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
More than 20, I might agree with that. Yeah. But I mean, I think
you said 30. How many times were there a 30-yard? Was he that close to a 30-yard loss?
He was still going backwards when he escaped.
No.
I'm just saying there was that type. Any time in the National Football League, you do a Fran Tarkenton, which is basically to be scrambling and then further retreat. It's probably a bad idea. It is probably a bad idea.
It's not option one. I'll grant you that.
No.
But I think if you're a good enough athlete and you can evade, clearly the results were strong for the man.
There's no arguing.
So
I said this, and I'll stick by it. I don't think he should ever throw another left-handed pass in his life, ever. There was nothing.
No, he's perfected the behind the back. He can do that instead.
There was nothing like the choke with that little that went 6 yards, which was a game-saving play that indicated that he really can throw the ball left-handed. It was just an instinct play that worked, and he was kind of thinking, "Hey, this is a thing," and he did it a couple more times. I'm like, no.
He did it only one more time.
I think maybe twice.
Did he?
Yeah. So I would say that that's just a bad idea. Period.
So here's what I would ask.
Unless it's like the last play. This will be lost on the audience too. The last play of the 1966 NFL championship game. Don Meredith was almost on the ground, and he just flung the ball up in the air in the end zone. It was intercepted. Game over. Okay, fine. Kick it, throw it left-handed. I don't care. That scenario, whatever. But just an irregular old play, no.
Well, that wasn't a regular old play. It was a play that they needed to convert.
They did, but I mean, it was late, but it wasn't death. No, yes, it worked. But I think the fact that it worked the fact that it worked put the seed in his head that this was a good idea. That's all I'm saying.
Right, let me preface what I'm about to say with, I love you, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I know you.
And I hope everybody out there knows I love Danny.
Right.
Right? But I'm going to say this. You live in this world of what if it didn't work?
No, that's not the point.
No, that's my point. I'm moving on to my point.
All right, fine.
You live in this world of what if it didn't work, which is part of what fascinates me and why I enjoy talking to you so much. And that's like, the left-handed pass, you should never do it again. Why? Because what if it didn't work? Hungry pig right. You remember you losing your mind?
I'll never change my mind about hungry pig right.
Which, if people don't remember, that was the Dontari Poe lined up as a wingback or a tight end off the line, whatever you want to call him. And they snapped the ball, and they threw it over to him at the line. Basically, he just caught the ball, and then just plowed into the line. And you spent that entire week after that happened going, what if it were intercepted and run back for a touchdown?
Right. I'll stick by it. It was a dumb play. But my point in this case is not what if it didn't work. That wasn't the point. It was a good idea at the time. What my point is that it planted the seed in his head that it's a good idea going forward. Instead of him realizing that this was a moment in time, like making a hole in one, or when you kick a field goal from 70 yards out, because that's not a good idea.
Those are bad examples. Because kicking a field goal from 70 yards, you didn't do anything different. You just kicked a field goal, and you happen to get all of it or get a tailwind. Hitting a hole-in-one, you didn't change your golf swing.
No.
You just had your golf swing, and it happened to be a good swing.
But the 70-yard, maybe the hole-in-one is a bad analogy, but the 70-yard field goal, my point is, say you decide to kick a 68-yard field goal, okay, because it's the last play of the half.
Right.
And you make it.
Right.
Going forward, in the middle of the first quarter, you don't say, hey, this is going to be a 68-yarder. Let's kick it.
Okay. And I get that point.
That's the analogy.
But that's my point is, when has he done that? When is he, when the right-handed throw is available, said, hang on, I'm going to flip to the left side, and I'm going to throw it left-handed?
No, he's never done that. He's only thrown it left-handed.
To make your analogy work about kicking the 68-yarder in the first quarter,
right.
That's what he would have to do at a time when he doesn't need to do it, to go ahead and do it anyway, and that has not happened.
Yeah, it happened a couple times where he should have just taken a sack instead of tried to throw the ball left-handed. It didn't work.
He got an incompletion instead of losing yards.
Yeah, and he threw some little balloon that could have, it's just...
But was not.
All right.
That's my point, is like you like are looking at what is the worst possible case scenario, and therefore plan based on that. And I think that you then take your ball and go home.
Well, the point is, I don't think in his head, his thought was, hey, if I put it in my left hand, I can get an incompletion. He was trying to complete it.
I know, but my point is this. Until he throws a pick, you don't have a leg to stand on. Until one of these worst-case scenarios come about. And he's going to have one. Right? He's going to have a worst-case scenario. You want to know why? Because Len Dawson had a 6-pick day. And he's a Hall of Famer. Everybody has that day that's a disaster. And he's going to have one of those. But, I mean, you to me, don't even have a leg to stand on until one of these things goes horribly wrong. Like, what was the worst of your, you hated Hungry Pig, right? Right? The next worst scenarios of that are a Travis Kelce INT and a Tyreek Hill INT, where we all wondered, is he even left-handed? That's how bad they were. He had trick plays down at the goal line that went wrong, and they won both those games.
The other point of the play was, I do believe that it was going to be a fumble if he dropped the ball. I think the ball was thrown forward.
Right? You think it was thrown backwards?
I mean...
Yeah, backwards would make it a fumble. If he doesn't catch it, it's a fumble.
Yeah,
that was part of your deal. But he didn't drop it.
But it just still doesn't make sense to throw it to a 300-pound man who doesn't catch passes in the National Football League. There's real people out there who do it at a high level.
See, I think you're wrong because I think you got to break up the grind that is football. And the team likes it. It's fun. I talked to all the guys down there. They love all that.
Then throw out some whoopee cushions at practice or something. I mean, that's when you get your spits and giggles in. Call off practice in the middle and go to the movies, okay, like they do at training camp. Don't, in a real football game, throw the ball to a tackle when he could drop it, fumble it, tip it up in the air, 97 the other way. And the game was close. It wasn't some blowout at that point in time.
As I recall, also, it came out later that they practiced it 2 or 3 times and he had dropped all 2 or 3 in practice.
Right, that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying.
My point is scoreboard. Until the scoreboard goes wrong, you got nothing to stand on.
All right, well, that's fine. That's fine. I think a bad idea is a bad idea, even if it turns out well. Going 100 miles an hour the wrong way down the road, and if you got to your destination faster, still doesn't make going 100 down the wrong side of the road a good plan.
All right. We're going to go to the judges here, and then we're going to end. Jed, what do you got?
I actually side with Danny. I think that you are viewing...
You should shut your mouth. I don't know why I asked you. Where is Ballins?
He's doing baseball tonight stuff.
So you side with Danny. All right, why? Go ahead.
Because I think you're looking at it from the sense that Patrick Mahomes is infallible. Later, you did go on to say that, yes, he will have a bad day. Right. But Danny's point is extremely valid in the sense that when I watched that, it almost emboldened him to think that, well, I got away with this once. Why wouldn't it work again? And you saying, well, it was an incompletion instead of a sack. Yes, maybe Danny and I are this cynical SOBs that we are, but still, I guarantee
facts are facts.
When he throws a left-handed pass and it's intercepted, you are going to light him up, and you are going to eat so much crow. And I can't wait.
And my point is, I don't want him to have the opportunity to do this.
Listen, that's my point. Is that's the disconnect. Why you're wrong as well, and then we'll break. Is because if he dropped back on 1st and 10 on the first drive of the game, and then went, hold on, hop the other way, and threw one left-handed, you would have something. But every time he's done it, he was running to his left, and it was the only way he could get the ball there.
True. Still not a great plan.
It's the only thing that's left.
No, sack. Live to play another day.
And if you, to Danny's point, if you think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, if he is sacked, he should be able to make up that yardage. It's
agree.
A smart play.
I agree, and his never say die attitude is also what
you opened
on 4th and 9. He completes to Tyreek Hill. Or 19 or whatever they do. I think it was 4th and 9.
Sure enough.
Goes 30 yards down the field to Tyreek Hill because he doesn't give up.
This is no attack on the abilities of Patrick Mahomes.
No, I feel a need to defend the man's honor because clearly you two are insulting it. So I am here to defend Patrick Mahomes against this malicious onslaught.
I'm sorry. I hate to break the news, folks. He's not the second person who can walk on water. If indeed I believe the first one did.
Listen, I'm not going biblical, okay, with you. That for sure is not going to happen here.
I probably know the Bible better than most of the people out there are going, oh, this heathen, what's he talking about?
This is my last thing I'll say, all right, on him is, you're talking about, he needs to take the sack. I will give you this. He needs to start learning how to, if you want to say he needs to learn to quit on a play, I agree. And it needs to come before he's running full speed with big men chasing him. Right. So if that's your point, I'm in. And that's my point, is like when the legs go, and usually what happens is you don't realize the legs go and you take some hits, and that's how you learn the lesson.
Right.
I would like him, if the point is he can go, if he's playing in preseason, to expedite the process of unload it. Don't even get out there running around with that. I'm with you.
Right.
I'm with you on that.
All right.
We found a common ground. We'll take a break.
Took a while.
What does Danny? Well, it always does. What does Danny want to see out of this Chiefs-Steelers game? We'll get into that next here in the program.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
We're here with Joe Spiker, the president of Easton Roofing. And Joe, you worked for other companies in the construction industry. What inspired you to start your own company in Easton Roofing?
Well, Danny, when you are working for somebody else, you oftentimes don't get to see the project through from beginning to end, and you don't get the final control over the customer experience. And I wanted to build a place where people can come and get work done on their house and not have to worry about being treated the wrong way and get a good customer service experience start to finish.
The company slogan is "Where Integrity Matters." Why is that so particularly important to you?
Well, for us, what that means is treating each other with respect at work, treating our clients with respect, and making the right choice, especially when no one's looking. So when you're presented all the time as a contractor with choices that have to be made, are you going to make more money on this if you cut a corner? And we just wanted to make a place and a slogan that said to our people and to whoever is our customer, we're not going to do that. We're going to make the right choice regardless of profit.
Easton Roofing, where integrity matters.
All right, Bryce Harper hit his 6th career walk-off home run last night. Danny.
He's coming.
And that is the second most since he debuted in 2012. Who has the most in that time? Since 2012. Bryce Harper had his 6th last night. That's second most. Who has the most in that time span?
Glad I had my headphones off and played Cashmere.
Just for you, Danny.
Just for you. Are you not a Led Zeppelin fan?
I'm a big Led Zeppelin fan.
But just not Cashmere.
not a big fan of
No,
the song.
he's not a fan of touchdown plays either. So what do you want?
Cool.
Most walk-offs.
And since 2012, so Bryce Harper debuted in 2012. He has